Jai Shri Ram. Vedic Gods. This is an article written by Professor R. L. Kashyap of Sri Aurobindo Kapali Shastri Institute of Vedic Culture. And Sri R. L. Kashyap is a Professor Emeritus of Electrical and Computer Engineering at Purdue University, Lafayette, Indiana, in USA. He had his master's degree from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and obtained a PhD from Harvard University. He is a recipient of many international awards. He also received Vedanga Vidwan, instituted by MSRVVP, an autonomous body of HRD, Government of India, and Jnana Kirti Award, instituted by Harsha Kriya Foundation, Bangalore. Now, in short, R.L. Kashyap is one of the authorities on Vedic Sanskrit, and he has written interpretations, you may call them, of all the Vedas. He has authored more than 350 research papers and guided more than 50 PhD scholars and written extensively on the Veda. He has to his credit 7 major books on the Veda. He is the honorary director of Sri Aurobindo Kapali Shastri Institute of Vedic Culture, Bangalore. And so I'm just reading one of his articles on Vedic Gods. You will enjoy listening to this. A deep understanding of spirituality interpreted in a broad sense is not possible without a good understanding of the nature and the role of gods mentioned in the Rig Veda. The word Deva occurs in about 1300 mantras out of the 10,552 mantras of the Rig Veda. 10,552 mantras of Rig Veda. 1300 mantras have the word Deva in them. Even though Deva is rendered as God in English translations, we prefer the word Deva. It is derived from the word div, to shine or illuminate, illumine. The Devas are supra-physical beings without physical bodies, endowed with consciousness, knowledge and power. They carry out the actions directly from their consciousness without the need for a body. It is a mistake to regard the Devas or gods as mere personifications of qualities. They are incarnations or emanations of cosmic forces endowed with a high level of consciousness. By reciting the mantras and performing meditation, human beings can enter into concrete touch with these powers. They can help man and show him the way to a divine consciousness and immortal life. These gods can literally take birth in human beings and guide him or her from within. Every Deva represents an outward aspect and an inner or psychological power. For instance, Agni is the physical fire or the fire of digestion outwardly. At a deeper level, Agni is the divine will. Indra is the lord of the divine mind. Saraswati is the goddess of inspiration. By getting in touch with these gods, a human being can develop the psychological powers associated with them. As Sri Aurobindo says, gods are not personifications of qualities or powers, but incarnations or emanations of conscious forces with whom we can enter into a concrete touch, and they can help man and show the way to a divine consciousness and immortal life. Most of us are aware of the immense complexity of the life around us, even in its external forms. Unraveling the mystery of the external world is, after all, the goal of physical sciences. A complete analysis of all our experiences, physical, vital, and mental, is impossible for most of us. Faced with this formidable situation, it is tempting to say that there is no order in this world and all the occurrences are the result of pure chance, whatever that word might mean. Many agnostic philosophers like Bertrand Russell have written extensively their reasons for not believing in the existence of God who controls this universe. However, a close analysis of their writings reveals that these authors are only demolishing the limited conceptions of God in their minds. Limited conceptions. Again, the explanation of some theists that after death all go to a place called heaven or hell is also very simplistic. To appreciate the connection between the various suggestions of philosophies and religions, we have to remember the tale of 5 blind men who reported touching a creature which was as huge as the trunk of a tree, as slithery as a snake, as hard and smooth like granite, and as thin and broad as a huge leaf. It is easy to dismiss their reports as meaningless unless one has seen an elephant whose different parts of the body correspond to the diverse descriptions given by these 5 blind men. An integrated view of the human beings and all the forces surrounding us cannot be obtained by any reasoning, just as a person who has not seen an elephant cannot visualize it using all the partial descriptions given by others. The integral view has to be attained by a power such as intuition beyond the reach of the ordinary mind. Once the integrated view is revealed to us, we can use it to interpret all our experiences, just as a person who has seen an elephant can explain all its partial descriptions. Rigveda Samhita is a record of the realizations and the experiences of the seers and their integrated view. The Vedic sages realized that the world with its manifestation is like a multi-tiered hill which can be adequately described by 7 planes of existence. They are the lower triple worlds, namely the world of matter, the world of life or vital, and the world of mind. The higher triple worlds, namely named as the world of existence, world of knowledge, and the world of bliss. And finally, the world linking the lower 3 to the upper 3, namely the world of Mahas or Vijnana. Vijnana is mistranslated as intellect. The power presiding over each plane is a deva or god. Thus, each god is a distinct power and personality of the Supreme. It is worthwhile reiterating that these worlds are not the physical worlds and they cannot be reached by physical means. These worlds are in reality different states of consciousness. A human being who is conscious of only matter is at that time living in the world of matter. When his consciousness is dwelling on desires, feelings, emotions, etc., then he is living in the vital world. When he is immersed in thought, then he is in the mental plane or world. The god Agni presides over the world of matter, the god Vayu presides over the vital world, and Indra over the mental world. Most human beings are conscious of only the 3 lower levels of existence. The meaning of gods is not exhausted by their descriptions as rulers of different planes. Let us take the god Agni. Agni, of course, in the physical sense stands for the principle of fire. But even in the first hymn of Rigveda, the god Agni is described as a herald, a priest, and as one who leads all other gods to the worshipper. Western academics have been wont to dismiss these epithets as typical exaggerations conferred on an anthropomorphic conception of the god Agni. Sri Aurobindo and Sri Kapali Shastri explain that the god Agni in the esoteric sense stands for the principle of aspiration in man. Agni means the aspiration in man to achieve higher things than his present state. Progress is not possible without aspiration. Hence, only if Agni is active can he bring in the other gods or powers. That is, the other powers can manifest in man. Thus, at the beginning of Rigveda Samhita, the sages describe spiritual progress as a journey, adhvara. Adhvara means a journey. From one peak of the multi-tiered hill to another. If we are at a peak, we get a much better view of the road to be traversed next than if we are near the base of a hill. This conception is clearly very modern, but it is a paraphrase of the verse 1.10.2 of the Rigveda Samhita. One can establish a conscious relationship with each cosmic power. Consequently, that power enters the human being and grows in him, her, like a plant. The idea of the Deva manifesting his power in a human is called as the birth of the Deva in hundreds of mantras, indicated by words like Janayan or Jajnana. Jajnana. Janayan or Jajnana. These parts increase in man as indicated by the words like Vardhya, Uti. We give here 3 mantras from Rigveda describing the gods. Wearing the forms of gods, many powers born in the finding of knowledge move abroad to this sacrifice. 1 and 2. Wearing the forms of gods. As the seeker opens up successive layers of his consciousness to the light and knowledge in the deeper and higher levels of existence, many of his latent faculties are awakened, formed, and set into activity by the appropriate presiding powers. The gods are born in him. Mitra, the god of love and harmony, Varuna of vastness and purity, Indra of luminous intelligence, and others manifest and gather to partake of the choicest offering of the sacrifice, Soma. Soma is the delight of life experience. Soma is not some drug, okay? Soma is the delight of existence. Law. The gods move according to the law of the workings of the gods. Even the gods observe a law, and that law is the law of truth. For the gods are themselves born of truth, grow in truth and live in truth. They are emanated from the vast being of the Supreme to carry out its truth will in the manifestation. They uphold and follow the workings of this will, its law of effectuation. They are both the guardians and the functionaries of the law. Occult unity. The thought in which gods meet together when it is occult. We know not of it. To the human mind, this is another mantra. To the human mind, multiplicity, division is the obvious truth of life. Even the gods, the powers that preside over the respective spheres in the cosmos, are separate from each other, each zealously guarding their own domain. But that is not the whole truth. Behind diversity, there is an underlying unity. A oneness is the basis of all multiplicity. Oneness is its heart. Oneness is its summit. The gods too converge in a oneness in the home of truth, where each realizes himself to be a ray, an emanation of the one creative Godhead. But this truth consciousness in which all recover this unity is beyond the reach of the human mind, laboring in ignorance. So if you are laboring in ignorance, this conception is difficult to attain. It can know of it only when it reveals itself directly or indirectly through reflection, veiled projection, and other ways. A word about the connection between the Vedic gods and Puranic gods is appropriate here. In the Veda, all the gods are pure and harmonious with no bad qualities like competition and others associated with the vital human nature. Each Vedic god has a distinct power and personality, but he or she carries also the presence of the Supreme. That one. All the Vedic gods harmoniously work together in divinizing the individual person by being born in him. When the age of the Vedic Samhita came to an end, several centuries later, the Upanishad period started to capture the truths of the Vedic period. At a much later period, the Purana started to state the esoteric truths of the Veda in a language accessible to the so-called common man or woman. However, in this attempt, the qualities of the Vedic gods were mixed up with the qualities of some lower gods of the prana or vital plane. Thus, in the Puranas, the various gods sometimes work together but also compete with one another. Powers of the gods. This is a small chart. I am going to read it out for you. Agni, fire. It is the cosmic power of heat and light and the willpower united with wisdom. Human willpower is a feeble projection of this power. It can be strengthened by the Rigveda chants to Agni. Indra, he is the lord of the divine mind and action. In Indian tradition, mind is not a source of knowledge. It manipulates the knowledge to aid action. Indra battles the evil forces on behalf of the human. Vayu, wind. He is the lord of all the life energies, prana, which represent the passions, feelings, emotions, and abilities. He is the lord. The Ashwins, the lords of bliss and divine physicians who render the human body free of disease so that it can accept the divine prana, the life energy. Mitra, the lord of love and harmony. Varuna, the master of infinities who can tolerate restrictive thinking or actions. Only he can cut the three bonds which restrict the three aspects of every human being: physical, vital, and mental. So Varuna is the master of infinities who can tolerate restrictive thinking or actions. So he can cut the three bonds. Saraswati, the goddess of inspiration. Aila, the goddess of revelation or Ila. Sarama, the goddess of intuition. Sarama is not a dog. Many people thought Indra's dog was Sarama. She discovered some cows which were stolen by some gods. So that is there on somebody's immature interpretation. Sarama means the goddess of intuition. Surya is the supreme deity of light and force. The birth of gods. Rigveda 10.72. This sukta considered the details of the birth of gods who are the cosmic functionaries. Functionaries. That is the powers assigned to carry out the various functions in the universe. 10.72.2 declares that the existence, Sat, sprang or was released from that which is called as Asat. It declares that just as a blacksmith gives shape to varying objects, Brahmanaspati fashioned the gods and gave them the necessary forms and functions to carry out their tasks. Verse 5 declares that Aditi, the goddess of infinity, was the first, and then came other devas. Aditi had 8 sons. 7 of them became the functionaries of the 7 cosmic planes. The 8th one, Martanda, was made for bringing to birth all the creatures of our world. For more details, see the compact book Philosophical and Creation Hymns in Rigveda, Sakshi 2005. So here ends the small article by Shri Dr. R.L. Kashyap. So I'll stop here. Please listen to it, and I'll keep reading R.L. Kashyap's articles on various aspects of Veda. Jai Shri Ram.